It's time. So welcome back to another tier list. Now, we're doing another tier list today with a good old the water heater behind me. That's just a bomb that could go off at any second. It's here and it's ready. We're doing another tier list, and definitely not because the last one that I did almost a year or more ago is my most popular video, and it's definitely not because I'm doing that. It's because I really want to talk about the Pokemon games and not any other reason. You're also probably like, hey Trent, where the fuck is a new Sonic video? Calm the fuck down, shut up. Next month, okay? I want a breather. I want to upload easier content this month, okay? Fuck, the Sonic Adventure 2 video took me 2 months to make. I don't want to make another one right now. I'll get there though, shut up. Anyway, today, we're putting together a tier list. We're putting together where I put the mainline Pokemon games. We got Scarlet and Violet that just came out. Got some shit to say about that one. Got some shit to say about other ones. Some I haven't played. I'm going to be flat out honest. I haven't played a couple. In fact, let's get the ones I haven't played out of the way. Now, because even though they're I haven't played, they're still on my list. I'll get to them eventually. I own most of them. I just haven't gotten there yet. So first off is Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Haven't played them. Black 2, White 2. Haven't played them. Pokemon, where are you? XD, RAR, haven't played it. Coliseum, also no. And Brilliant Shining and Shining Pearl. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. These stupid titles. I haven't played those either. But yes, everything else there, I have in fact played. So I'm good. I would go get a physical copy of all of them because I have them all. But it would have to stop at the DS games because they're out in the living room, which is boarded up because my son likes to rip things off the shelf and then throw them across the floor. So I don't want to remove the cardboard that I have blocking everything. So fortunately we're not doing physical. We got one physical and that's it. And it's not even on this tier list. Wow, look at that. Well, I'll show off. You know what? I'll show off my one physical game here that I brought with me. It's a box copy of Pokemon Green. We didn't get this one in America because it's fucking terrible. This, if it was on the list, would be like at a D. I can't read it because it's in Japanese, and I'm white. Also, it wasn't good. It's a buggy mess. The sprites are awful. And you know, it's more or less a collector's item. Like, it's something I'm not gonna play. You know, it's something that's there, and it's something I'm happy I own. Something that is cool to note too about these Japanese Pokemon games, because I also have a Japanese copy of Red. They're like this, whereas our copies where the cartridge was completely colored. These are just the label. Stop glaring in the fucking camera. These ones are just the label is colored and the cartridge itself is gray. So I thought and think that's neat. I dropped the protective thing. I'm gonna kill myself. Anyway, now that that's safely tucked and stored away, I finally got to talk about this. I've owned this for like 5 years and I just haven't gotten a chance to say anything about it. But now that that's out of the way, let's get started for real with my first Pokemon game, which was Pokemon Yellow. Pokemon Yellow, I don't like any of the Gen 1 games. Yellow will be ranked higher than Red and Blue, just because of where it holds a special place in my decrepit old heart. But the Gen 1 games are not good, and anybody who says that they are is very blinded by nostalgia, and they don't know. Those poor bastards. I'm gonna put Yellow at C, because I mean it's a fine start, even though this wasn't the start. It's a fine start, and it improves on Red and Blue in some ways. Now for that, we'll talk about Red and Blue real quick, which I'm throwing in D, because Red and Blue is not good. The Psychic is broken. If you want to win, have a Nidoking, and more or less these still apply for Yellow, but probably the biggest issue I have with Red and Blue, and I'm pretty sure every single person who chose Charizard also has with Red and Blue, if you choose Charmander as your starter, you have just activated hard mode because the first gym is Rock. There is no opportunity to catch a grass or water-type Pokemon from Pallet Town to Pewter City, so you just have to get that Charmander leveled up where it can just tank hits from Geodude and Onix and win. And it takes a bit. And then you're also at a double-edged sword because the next gym is Misty, who is water. At that point, I think you can get a grass type, but you're going to have to waste time leveling that up as well. So, a little rough. Yellow fixed that. That's probably the biggest change Yellow did, because you only start with Pikachu. So what they did to circumvent that is you can get like a Bellsprout or something on the Victory Road route, where you normally catch like Nidoran male and female. You can get a Bellsprout there to use during the Pewter City Brock fight for the water, or for the rock gym. And then, of course, for water, you're an electric mouse, so you're fine. So yellow at least fixed that. Also, yellow fixed some of the sprites, so they look closer to the anime, rather than red and blue's weird sprites. I kind of like the way they look in red and blue. It's charming, but if you want to go for like authentically what they're supposed to look like, they're not great. Anyway, next, gold and silver. These were my second Pokemon games. I have all of these, gold, silver, and crystal. And if you're wondering, hey Trent, you're like 24, why the fuck do you got these Pokemon games, and why didn't you start with Gen 3 like everyone else did? Well, I had a cousin who I'm sure is beating herself at this moment because she had all of these, got bored of them, and gave them to a 3-year-old me, and I've kept them ever since. I have changed the battery in them, but other than that, they are the same games that she gave me when I was like 3 or 4, and they've never left my collection. They are right outside this door in a little case. Hold on, I'll grab them. Oh, fuck you, I'm getting them. So, yes, so she gave me Crystal first, which is this one. Yeah. And then in this really nice case, there's the Japanese, whoops, there's the Japanese red, by the way. But in this really nice case, maybe it's not as nice as I thought it was. It was a nice-ass case. I got a clear-ass Game Boy, which is, I fucking adore this thing. Barely use it because I don't want anything bad to happen to it. Also, it's a Game Boy. If I'm going to play a Game Boy game, I'm going to use an advance, duh. Or the Retron, play it on the TV, you know? But then she also gave me gold and silver, which are these right here. I got a camera's fish angled lens. So gold and silver. So these 3, check this out. Look, you can even see when I would go to preschool with my Game Boy or kindergarten, I wrote my name on it in like kindergarten. So these are mine. These are the ones I had since I was a child, and the only thing that's been replaced in them is the battery in silver and gold, and not crystal, but just silver and gold. Crystal's battery is held up. I haven't had a reason to change it. Here are yellow and blue, and I can feel that I changed the battery in yellow. Yeah, the screw is missing. That's a good sign that I changed the battery. Did I do the electrical tape technique? So you do a technique here where if you can't solder, you just wrap electrical tape really tightly around it, and it works. I can solder now, by the way. I do know how to solder. Didn't when I changed it, but it works. So there's that. But anyway, I don't get to talk about my collections too much, so it's very fun to talk about. It's fun for me to talk about this stuff. I like it a lot. I'd like to do a video where I talk about my collection, just on certain things, but I don't know how to format that. So if you want to see that, let me know. Down in the comments, let me know if you want to see a collection video. Oh, anyway, my opinions on gold and silver are: it is a vast improvement over red, blue, and yellow. I think gold and silver is probably some of the best Pokemon out there. If you want to play like original Game Boy Pokemon, go for gold and silver. If you're not worried about completing the Pokedex for those games, absolutely just focus on gold, silver, or crystal. The only difference between these two is crystal is specifically for the Game Boy Color. That's why it's got like this goofy shit instead of it being like this kind of a cartridge where, like, you know, you got the end, it got like the butt that sticks out. It's for the Game Boy Color, and what that means is it added color, obviously. So for me, both of these are on a B. They're a great step up, and the post game is like unbeatable. I don't mean it's like too hard. I mean it's like fantastic. Getting the entire first region in the new game, plus getting to battle Red at the end, is some of the best shit. But it's still got some quirks. It's still got some weird shit. It's a Game Boy game. It's a little. It's got some weird little things that are just luckily those are ironed out later, but we'll get there. Next up is Generation 3, which is Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, and a Leaf Green, all of which I own, of varying quality. To give a brief history lesson on my copies of these. Back when the virus, I don't know if you can say it on YouTube without getting your video fucking destroyed, but back when the virus TM was rampaging through the world, I got really into Pokemon again, because Sword and Shield came out, and a little before then, and fucking just crushed my spirit, but we'll get there. So I wanted to go back and play the good shit, so I played Soul Silver, and holy fuck, we'll get there, but then I was like, damn, I kind of want to fill out Soul Silver's Pokedex. So I realized I didn't have any Gen 3 Pokemon games. Now, I had Emerald at one point in my life, but I eventually sold it to actually buy the Japanese version of Leaf Green, because I just wanted a boxed Japanese copy of Leaf Green, or just of regular green. But I needed to re-get all of them. I don't know if you've gone on eBay as of late, but Pokemon games, they ain't cheap.
Oh my God!
So you're not getting a legitimate copy of a Pokemon anything from eBay. So what I did then was, to avoid complications of trying to trade up games from the GBA, is I went and got the 2 cheapest legit versions of the Gen 3 games I could get, which at the time, the cheapest Gen 3 games I could get was Leaf Green, and I'm still playing through this one in my modded Game Boy, and Sapphire. So Leaf Green and Sapphire are legitimate, real copies. You can tell this one's been scuffed to shit and back because somebody loved the hell out of this. But these are legitimate, real copies. And then Emerald and Fire Red are not. And I don't have Ruby yet, but Ruby's gonna also probably be a bootleg. But these are not legitimate copies. These are fake, but they're the best fakes I could find. And for those uninitiated, you can always tell a fake by the backs. See, here's a back. And you don't need to be that specific. This camera's not that good. Here's the back of a legitimate copy, right? And here's the back of Emerald. You can see the like weird pins, the weird pins, right? Like that's not, you're not supposed to see that. So yeah, so that was my workaround. Same thing with Fire Red, Leaf Green. Fire Red has all these fucking pins around, and Leaf Green doesn't have shit. So that was my workaround. But anywho, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, I'm gonna get some shit for this. Gen 3 killed my Pokemon love for a little bit. It's the reason I didn't play Diamond and Pearl, and the reason I didn't play Platinum is because I got Emerald at a yard sale, and quite frankly, I just fucking hated it. And I can't pinpoint to you exactly why. There's just something about Emerald's world that I don't like. I think I just don't like the tropical setting, to be completely, totally honest with you. I don't think Hoenn is just a region I like in particular. However, that being said, I'm gonna go and put Emerald in my C, because I just don't like Emerald that much. However, and this is gonna make no sense, I liked playing Sapphire more than Emerald, and I don't know why. I think it's just because the centralized story of this one just being about Archie and not trying to combine these two stories together, I like more with them being separate. So I am gonna put Ruby and Sapphire above Emerald, and it's one of those things I can't really explain why that decision is final, but that's what it is. Fire Red and Leaf Green are just Gen 1, but better, so they're also just going to go in B. They still got the weird shit Gen 1 has, but at least it's better, and if you're playing through Gen 3, it's the only way you can get some Johto Pokemon into Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald, because you can only get some Johto Pokemon in Fire Red, Leaf Green, and only some in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. It's a weird thing. You gotta look up you basically gotta go on the Pokemon wiki and look up a whole spreadsheet of how it's separated. It's annoying, but it's a necessary investment of what you gotta do if you were trying to do all of the Pokedex shit. Anyway, next gen. Moving on to the next one, which was Gen 4. I did not play any Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum. I have Platinum. It's out on the shelf. From DS games onward, they're in the shelf in the living room, which is boarded up and really inconvenient for me to get, so I'm not bothering. I have not played Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum. I know Diamond and Pearl have some issues, and Platinum irons them out, so just play Platinum, and that's just what I'm gonna do. I'll get there one day. Sorry. However, I did play Soul Silver and Heart Gold. Soul Silver and Heart Gold were my introduction back into Pokemon after Gen 3 kind of killed the interest I had in the series. I did not really know that it was a remake. I didn't understand what a remake was as a child when it came out because I was fucking stupid. So when I got it, and I was like, damn, this kind of just feels like Silver and Gold again. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, wow, man, I think it's just Silver and Gold again. I hated it. Then I played it again and realized these are the best Pokemon games. If you want and there's a reason they are the most expensive Pokemon games to buy. It's rough, but if you want a Pokemon game that have content to last you like forever, this is the one. If you want one that can last you as long as you want it to last, this is the one. It will never never stop giving you everything you want. I adore Soul Silver and Heart Gold. Soul Silver and Heart Gold are half the reason why I like Silver and Gold as much as I do, because in hindsight, it's like, damn, Silver and Gold already had to be pretty good for these to be as good as they are, you know? So, yeah, they're the best ones. Unfortunately, Black and White are also the best ones, so take your pick. Black and White was the full-on, stop the presses, I'm back into Pokemon, boys. Something about the trailers for this game, something about when it was coming out, got me right back into Pokemon, got me hooked again. I bought the strategy guide for it. I got the big-ass Pokedex book. I got that shit. I adore Black and White. When people ask me what my favorite Pokemon games are, which you know of course happens all the time, I always say to them, what are you looking for? Are you just looking for like a pure Pokemon experience? Because if that's what you want, Heart Gold, Soul Silver is your way to go. But if you're looking for something a little different, that takes a little bit of risks, that takes a lot of risks actually, Pokemon Black and White is your one to go for, because bar none, the story in Black and White, while it does falter towards the end a little bit, I still think is compelling enough that it'll continue to push you through, especially for a Pokemon game, which has lacked a good story in forever, until recently. But Black and White is my favorite. I adore Black and White. Black 2, White 2, I did not play. I own Black 2. It's currently sitting in the case of Soul Silver, so I will have to play. I do have to play that. Anyway, next. Generation 6. Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. This is a tricky one. Because on the one hand, this is kind of the death of modern Pokemon, right? The story took a back seat and fucking sucked. The rivals fucking sucked. The world started to become really linear. Everything kind of just was slower and worse. However, this came out at the right time for me that I adored it. I played it for over 150 hours, I think. I just had so much fun collecting and battling online, honestly. That was the first Pokemon game where I did anything with the online. And also I was using Black and White at the time to hack in Pokemon and put them into X and Y, so I gave myself like a Celebi and shit. But X and Y, they're not like the best games. I'm afraid to go back to them because I have a feeling if I go back to them, I will not like them as much as I did. However, I gotta go with my gut and give it a B. There was just something about it. Like when there was the trailer came out, and they showed you going diagonal. Bro, when that game came out, how old was I? My 13-year-old mind, maybe I was 14. I was 14. My 14-year-old mind was fucking blown. Like, bro, I can go diagonal? What? Like, that was amazing. When something that small gets me that fucking excited, like, sent. Good. I want it. Done. Give me. So, yeah, I will play X and Y again at some point. I do want to go back and play X and Y at some point because I really don't think I'm going to like it as much as I think I do. But for now, it's going to go there. Yeah. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I already don't like Gen 3s, so what do you think I thought about these ones? These are fucking terrible. I hate these. I hate Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire a lot. I already don't like Gen 3, and just having to play through it in a slower engine, and it's in 3D. It doesn't look as good. One thing I'll say to Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald is at least the pixel art looks good. I don't think these games look good at all. I think they look muddy and gross and disgusting. And the fan service with the dress-up Pikachu that they give you, and the Battle Frontier completely missing at the end with basically like a model of it that just says LOL get fucked, essentially. Nah, it's an insult. It's fucking terrible. I don't like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Do own both of them, though. I'm the problem, right? New Pokemon game comes out, it's shit, I buy both of them. Anyway, Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon gets a C. Sun and Moon is okay. It is the most, it's the beginning of the end. Where X and Y was kind of the death, this is like the shitty afterlife. This game focuses so much on its story, and its story's pretty good. But the problem is everything else suffers. There's no gyms, which is fine, do something different, but I don't like the trials that much, because they always just end in a battle anyway, which, at that point, why not just do a fucking gym? You got that, and then you got the new routes, which are they're hallways. They're just straight lines. There's no room for exploration. There's no caves. Or if there is, they're just, again, a straight line. At least X and Y had one cave, and it kind of seemed like a maze. Again, I kind of think it was a straight line, but just a bunch of twists and turns. But the way the camera angles itself, it seems like a maze. It seems like you could get lost. Even if you can't get lost, at least the illusion is there that, oh, fuck, this could be a big winding cave. I could get lost. Sun and Moon doesn't have that at all. Sun and Moon's just kind of terrible. Also, the Ultra Beasts, apart from, Guzzlord and Buzzwole, fucking, what even are these? I know that they're alternate dimension Pokemon. That's the dumbest shit. And I'm not one to make fun of Pokemon designs and shit. I don't care. When people were making fun of Klefki, I was like, that thing's cute. People were making fun of Vanillite, I was like, that thing's cute. I like it. The Ultra Beasts are just, they don't feel like Pokemon. They're weird Digimon thing. I don't like them. Them. They're stupid. I don't like Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon sucks. Sun and Moon's bad. I despise Sun and Moon. However, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon takes what already was bad about Sun and Moon and just makes it worse. The story, like, the thing that was, like, the best part of Sun and Moon was the story. The story was pretty good. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon shits all over it. So there's no redeeming quality now. It's just Sun and Moon, except it's longer now. And we already know the tutorial lasts like 20 hours because Hal's got to tell you what a Pokemon Center is for the 14th fucking time. Like, no. I hate Sun and Moon. I do not like them. After that, we got Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. I only own Let's Go Eevee because my wife wanted to try it, and we both agree it is pretty middle of the road. It is safe. It is the Pokemon game for your grandmother to play. It is a remake of Gen 1. It is a remake of Gen 1, which already had a remake in Fire Red and Leaf Green, so Gen 1 got 2 remakes already, and it's fine. It plays more like Pokemon Go. There's no wild battles. You just try to catch Pokemon for XP, and you can connect it with Pokemon Go to trade in your Kanto Pokemon from Pokemon Go, which is neat. I was able to complete the Pokedex very fucking quickly doing that. You also could buy the $50 Pokeball controller because it had Mew in it. Now, I don't know what dumbass would do that, me, but I have that Pokeball, and it's cute. It's alright. I mean, like, you can't use it with any other game, but it's cute, right? It's fine. You can carry the Pokemon around with you. It's cute. Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield's the worst fucking Pokemon game. Sword and Shield's terrible. I don't want to hear a goddamn word about anything positive this game did. Sword and Shield is terrible. From the lies that Game Freak told us about how the Pokedex was cut down to focus on animations while they blatantly were just reusing animations from Sun and Moon, to the story just not even giving a shit that you're there, to also just like the villain making no sense, the legendaries being so fucking lame, and then the audacity to give you an unfinished game that you bought for $60, and then for them to say, hey, pay $30 and we'll give you an extra island to explore, and all the Pokemon are back now, which is what everybody was theorizing at the time, is that they cut the Pokedex in half so they could just sell you the Pokedex back, which is exactly what they did. But it's unfortunate because I hear that, all the DLC's better. It improves things, and you know what? It might. I'm not buying it. They don't deserve my money. They got my $60 for what I thought was a finished game. It wasn't. Fuck Sword and Shield. And if I may now be the guy who goes back on his word and says, oh, I don't really complain about the Pokemon designs. If I complain about CobCo is the most uninspired garbage Pokemon I've ever seen in my life. I fucking despise CobCo. But that's it. That's it. I'm done ranting with Sword and Shield. Game's terrible. Game's awful. The wild area, terrible. Not even worth the hype. The routes, more of a straight line than Sun and Moon's were. Everything took a downgrade. The visuals, everything. Awful. Legends Arceus is, like, weird. I didn't love it, but I think I just wasn't in the right mind space for it. It is interesting to see them do a new type of Pokemon game, and I do like it for that. However, I kind of felt the aspect of having to catch everything like multiple times was kind of boring. But maybe that was just me. Maybe I was just too fixated on doing that. I don't know. For me, though, it's I'd say it's on the same level with X and Y. If I put X and Y on B, I gotta put that in B. It's okay. I see why people like it a lot. It's alright. Not the worst. Not my favorite. It's okay. Maybe I'll play it again one day and it'll click with me. Maybe then I'll really like it. But for right now, it's okay. Finally, the one that we've been waiting for. The newest game to the Pokemon franchise. Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet. It's now been enough time to say that it's come out and has been one of the most buggy, broken, ugly, unoptimized, borderline unfinished game Nintendo has ever published and released, especially for the biggest media franchise in the world. To release a product this unfinished, buggy, and unpolished is almost borderline unacceptable. But it's the third best Pokemon game I've ever played. Scarlet and Violet is fantastic. If bugs and shit were to be ironed out and patched out, absolutely top tier, S tier. However, I don't see the bugs getting ironed out. Now, granted, right before I started recording this, Game Freak announced that they are releasing a patch, and Nintendo basically apologized for how shitty the state of the game is. So I guess maybe they are working on it, but the game itself, fantastic. It's really good. It's a new take on Pokemon. It's an open world now, and you can tackle the gyms and the Titans and the star bases however you want. And to somebody who's never played a Pokemon game, that makes no fucking sense, but why are you watching this video? Why'd you make it this far? What? But you can do that in any order you want, and the characters actually are fucking good. Arven is probably one of the best characters in a Pokemon game since, like, N, in Pokemon Black and White. Like, I love Arven. Nemona's just Goku, and Penny's just a girl, but, like, man, they're good, because even just girl has some depth to her. She's an outcast and sad and just wants friends. It's cute. God damn it. This game's good. Fuck God. I can't... Unlike with Sword and Shield, where they cut the decks in half because they're focusing on new animation and then just sold it back to you for $30 fucking. This one, I feel like they genuinely cut the decks to 400 because they wanted to focus on re-texturing them and giving them better animations, because they have fur and shit now, which, like, you'd think they would have had, like, way beforehand, but no. Yeah, no, Scarlet and Violet is just good. It's just really good. And I get, you know, I get the complaints about how it shouldn't look like it shouldn't look and it shouldn't perform the way it does, and it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. It's really quite a shame that I can't, like, suggest this game without being like, yeah, it's really good. However, it looks like shit. It runs like shit. It isn't finished. It's buggy. Like, I gotta list all these things. But then again, they keep selling us Skyrim, so maybe this is just fine. I don't know. But that is my list. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna move anything. That's the list. Make fun of me in the comments. Shit all over me. That's fine. Any Sword and Shield defenders will be blocked from the channel. They'll be blocked from the Twitter. They'll be done. They'll be doxxed. No, you won't. That's a joke. Don't get mad. YouTube, please. But yeah, that's my list. And I'm sorry I don't like Gen 3 as much as I should. And I'm sorry I haven't played Diamond, Platinum, and Pearl. I'll get there. I'll get there one of these days, man. Also, let me know, are these remakes any good? Because I hear that they're not. Are the Pokemon Diamond and Platinum Pearl, Pokemon Diamond Pearl remakes any good? Because I hear that they're not, so I just haven't bothered. And what are you excited for in the future of Pokemon? Me, quite frankly, I'm excited for the Black and White remake that's going to shit all over the source material and make it a terrible game. I can't wait for that one. That one's going to be real good. Anyway, I almost vomited. Anyway, with that out of the way, thanks for watching. I appreciate the support, and I have a Patreon where you can, I don't know, join it. Discord still coming. I don't know when by the end of the year. By the end of the year, no matter what work's done on it, I'm just gonna make it public. So I don't care. And then yeah, the Twitter, if it's still not on fire, or if the fire is still controllable, I am on Twitter. You can find me there. All of that shit's in the description. And go check out the Dark Souls tier list I did, which is probably the reason you found this channel. Let's be honest with you. Let's be honest. We're almost at 500 subs. I'm trying to get there before the end of the year. So I'm hoping to do more small content like this throughout the rest of this month to try to keep pushing the channel to where I want it to be towards the end of the year. But we'll see if we get there, you know? It's a process, and let's just go. All right, thanks for watching. Enjoy. Have fun with Scarlet and Violet. It's okay to be upset with how it handles, but it's also okay to like it, because I do too. It's okay. You don't have to hate it just because it doesn't function as it should. It's okay. I'm a Sonic fan. We're used to this. Have a good one, boys. Dark Souls video, subscribe, and then this one's going to be recommended based on your viewer retention input, whatever the fuck. Anyway, click a video. Click a thing, or subscribe right here. It's right in my face. Click the thing. What do you do? Don't go to that one. Don't do that one. Subscribe. It's right there. I'm still here.